Along with Darren Pang, I'm Mike Emery. Tonight we'll bring you NHL playoff action.
Exciting playoff action ahead of us tonight, Doc. Let's get acquainted with the starting goaltenders.
In net tonight, for St. Louis, Fred Brathwaite. And in the other net,
Let's get things underway in Edmonton. To Pronger. Over to Tkachuk. Pass to Mellanby. Over to Tkachuk. Quick shot. Touch pass. Score! They want another look at that one. There might have been someone in the crease. The goal counts. The Blues will skate with a lead here. Draw at center ice. One-timed over to Van Ryn. Across left to Dimitrov. Edmonton chases it down. Rink wide to York. Rink wide to Dimitrov. Over to York. Finley in the defensive end to get it. Face off in the left circle. Sent to Pronger. Shoots. Over to Mellanby. Cross ice to Mellanby. To Tkachuk. The Blues looking for a little breathing room. Offside. Face off in the neutral zone. Rink wide to Podine. Blasts it! Brathwaite with the glove save. Edmonton with some surprise victories.
They've put together a nice playoff run.
Face off to the right of the net. Touch pass to Pronger. Dimitrov on a breakaway. Scores! The goalie didn't have any help and he gives up the goal. The Oilers find themselves trailing by even more.
Dimitrov showing his skating skills on that one.
Face off in the neutral zone.
Number 38, Pavel Dimitrov.
One times it to Smith. Shooting. Moves it ahead. Over to Smith. St. Louis 2, the Oilers 0. Lines up and fires. Cross ice to Nash. Right side to Nash. Dumps it into the corner. Shot sails wide. Karam's off the boards. Over to Eastwood. Corso picked his pocket. Over to Eastwood. Into the corner. That'll go wide of the cage. Karam's off the boards. Over to Nash. Over to Eastwood. To Horcoff. The Blues change up. He shoots. Just wide. Shot sails wide. Over to Larocque. Over to Mellanby. Stayouts. Controls it. To Larocque. Cross ice pass. Over to Mellanby. Mellanby on a 3-on-2. With a wrist shot. Tkachuk with the puck. Face off to the right of the net. Feeds it across. To Dimitrov. The Oilers trail. Scores! The goalie didn't have any help and he gives up the goal. The Blues score again.
The goaltender had no chance on that one.
Face off in neutral ice. Over to Cleary. Over to Smith. They're whistled for offside.
Number 29, Alexander Kavanaugh.
The draw at center ice. Over to Pronger. To Podine. The slap shot. The pad save. Breakaway. With a slap shot. Got a pad on it. Face off to the right of the net. With a slap shot. Passed ahead. Cross ice pass. Left side to Mellenby. The wrist shot. Off the board. Over to Kachuk. Guides it on to Greer. Over to Smith. The Blues lead here. Dumps it into the corner. Kick. Scores! Marchand beats the goalie on the breakaway.
As if it wasn't enough to get scored on, his water bottle went flying too.
Face off in the neutral zone. Over to Van Ryn. Scores! Dimitra, a hat trick! The Blues extend their lead by one more.
Oh, it's a great feeling to be able to pour in goals like that. He's enjoying this one.
The draw in the neutral zone. One times it to Pronger. Rink wide to Stillman. Play whistle dead. Penalty coming up. And St. Louis will be a man short.
Dimitra, a little over physical on that one. St. Louis running around in their own end when shorthanded.
Draw in the neutral zone. Edmonton with the puck. Over to Smith. Over to Comrie. Over to Carter. Over to Comrie. Quick shot. Sent into the corner. Just wide. Not there. That'll go wide of the cage. St. Louis lighting the lamp frequently in the playoffs.
It's been incredible what they've done. Usually goals are hard to come by in the playoffs.
Nailed by Waite.
I'm guessing that didn't feel too good.
Edmonton with an extra skater. Not much time left here. Comrie on a breakaway. Takes a shot. Played into the corner. That's the end of the first period. St. Louis 4, the Oilers 1. Ready for the start of the second period.
St. Louis coasting to victory early in this contest. Let's see if they can keep it up.
Moves it quickly to Pronger. Played into the corner. Misses. Score! Eastwood fills it up. St. Louis, just too much for them tonight. The turning point in this game was the anthem.
I've been around the game for a while, as my hair can attest, but I've never seen a goal like that.
The draw at center ice. One times it to Pronger. Over to Mellenby. Pass to Kachuk. Tees it up. Passed up to Smith. Lets it rip. Draw to the right of the net. Controlled by Edmonton. Shot. Rink wide to Dimitra. With a slap shot. One times it to York. A shot. Cross ice pass. Over to Greer. The Blues lead here. That play is offside. Face off at neutral ice. Moreau hustles to it. Into the corner. Pass to Horcoff. Mellenby races over to get it. Big shot. Just missed. Looking. Over to Horcoff. Face off to the right of the net. Picked up by the Oilers. Shoots. Pass to Carter. Across right to Smith. Cross ice to Carter. Smith retrieves it. gathers it in. He's like a brick wall in goal tonight. Ferraro faces off in his own zone. Shot. Advances the puck to Dimitrov. The Blues leading. York over the line ahead of the puck. Edmonton spending a lot of time in the penalty box.
You just can't give teams the man advantage in the playoffs. They'll eventually convert.
Moves it quickly to Van Ryn. Dumped into the corner. Shooting. Ferguson ahead with it. Taps it ahead. He was belted.
Now, if you don't watch it, you're going to get drilled.
Cross ice to Nash. Face off to the right of the net. Over to Cleary. Cleary with the slap shot. Draw in the left circle. York controls the puck. He smothers it. The power play has been fruitful for Edmonton.
Teams that take advantage of their power plays usually do well in the playoffs.
Quick pass to Smith. Rink wide to Stillman. The Blues lead here. Over to York. Taps it ahead. Smith plays it into the corner. Caroms off the boards. Cross ice pass. He was belted.
If you're not paying attention, you'll pay the price.
A drive. Over to Dimitrov. Over to Larocque. Offside is the signal. Face off at neutral ice. Sent to Pronger. Over to Mellenby. Pass to Tkachuk. Can't get through. Cross ice to Smith. Over to Tkachuk. Cross ice to Smith. Sends him reeling. Smith over the line ahead of the puck. Face off at neutral ice. Over to Van Ryn. Rink wide to Podine. Oh, a crushing hit.
Now, you don't want to be on the wrong end of too many of those.
Rink wide to Greer. The Oilers change it up. Shoots it into the corner. Off the mark. Across left to Drake. The Oilers trail to Podine. Slap shot. Cut. Goalie out to play the puck. Draw to the left of the net. York races over to get it. Cut. Draw to the left of the net. To Pronger. To Stillman. One times it to Dimitrov. Across right to Comrie. To Stillman. Didn't get through. A shot. Just wide. Back to Cleary. Left side to Dimitrov. Oh, here's a breakaway all by himself. Right side to Stillman. Across right to York. Over to Ferraro. The Blues head to the bench for a change. That was a hard check into the bench.
Hello? Can you say bone-jarring, cage-rattling brutal? He sure can.
Draw to the left of the net. Didn't get through. One times it to Tkachuk. Retrieved by Salvador. Wrists it. Oh, here's a breakaway all by himself. Draw to the left of the net. Over to Van Ryn. Wrister. Rink wide to Comrie. Offside. The draw at center ice. One times it to Pronger. Guides it on to Eastwood. Period's drawing to a close. Rockets one. To Smith. Pass picked off by Pronger. Corso whistled for offside. Face off in neutral ice. One timed over to Van Ryn. And we're done with 2 periods of play. St. Louis 5, the Oilers 1. All set for the start of the 3rd period.
St. Louis, a bigger battle with the clock than with the opponent. They want this to end quickly.
Gathered in by Comrie. Puck ahead to Smith. Lets it fly. Left side to Mellanby. To Smith. Intercepted. Pass to Mellanby. Right side to Tkachuk. Across right to Smith. Lays the wood.
You got to keep your head in the swivel in this league.
Short pass to Comrie. He scores! The wrister beats him. The Oilers have to be more aggressive now.
Flick of the wrist and the puck is in the back of the net.
The Blues lead here. Cross ice pass. Pass to York. Across right to Stillman. Can't get through. To Greer. He scores! Greer gets away from the defenders and stashes it.
The Big M, momentum, has switched teams after that quick goal.
The draw in the neutral zone. Cross ice pass. Hip checks in. Big blast. Kick save. Over to Podine. Nails him with a vicious hip check. Across right to Comrie. Hip check. Across left to Drake. Oh, he'll feel that one tomorrow.
Drake absolutely hammered out there.
Misses wide. Sent to Podine. Right side to Comrie. To Cleary. The Oilers want a change. Big check. Rink wide to Stillman. The Blues leading. Sent into the corner. Misses the mark. Off the mark. Feeds it across. Not so fast. Offside. Face off in the neutral zone. To Pronger. Left side to Mellanby. To Tkachuk. Pass to Mellanby. Feeds it along to Smith. Across left to Greer. Offside against St. Louis. Draw in the neutral zone. Moves it quickly to Van Ryn. Cross ice to Stillman. Cross ice to Horcoff. Ferraro on the hard around. To Stillman. Across left to Dimitrov. Scores! He finds the back of the net again. The Oilers have lost control of this game. The Blues lead here. Across left to Carter. Pass to Smith. Corso bringing it ahead. Gathered in by Smith. Penalty call stops the action.
And number 13.
And St. Louis will get the man advantage.
Wow, he plowed into him, and they simply can't allow that. Teams don't seem to be afraid to take penalties because of the low power play numbers for St. Louis.
Face off in the left circle. Quick pass to Pronger.
Jason Smith.
Cross ice pass. Tees it up. Greer dumps it to the corner. Wide of the mark. Off target. Cross ice pass. To Salvador. Over to Stillman. Feeds it across. Up to Morrow. Played into the corner. Wide of the mark. Wide of the mark. One timed over to Cleary with a shot. The wrist shot. Cross ice pass. Over to Drake. The play is called back for offside. The draw in the neutral zone. Marchand with the puck. Marchand shoots it to the corner. Smothered by Brathwaite. Face off in the right circle. One times it to Van Ryn. Pass to Nash. Offside. Draw at center ice. Comrie takes it up ice. Cross ice pass. Picked by the Blues. Carter retrieves it. Off to Comrie. Rockets one. Big shot. Face off to the right of the net. Over to Cleary. Finley in the defensive end to get it. St. Louis 7, the Oilers 2. St. Louis gets control. Along to Cleary. Across right to Carter. Nobody back. Here's a breakaway. The Oilers want to change lines. Over to Podine. The Blues change up. Gathered in by Steos. Across right to Comrie. Comrie ahead with it. Face off in the right circle. Taken by Marchand. Cranks it. Cross ice to Tkachuk. Not so fast. Offside. The draw at center ice. Time running down in the period. The Blues leading. Pass to Stillman. Score! Horkoff whistled that one in.
That goal should provide an emotional lift for the Oilers.
Edmonton
Face off in the neutral zone.
Number 10.
Sent into the corner.
Assistant
And with the horn, this game ends.
47. Georges Larac.
Edmonton.
I'm Mike Emmerich for Darren Pang
Ladies
saying
and gentlemen,
goodbye.
Here are tonight's 3 stars of the game. The third star from the St. Louis Blues, number 19, Scott Milner. The second star from the St. Louis Blues, number 39, Mitchell Heistinger. And the first star of the game from the St. Louis Blues, number 38,